Yo, 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 what is good? What's good? What is good? It's finally getting back hot outside. The playoffs are almost here, and another episode of the third intermission podcast is here to put some flavor in your ears. It is Avry in the host chair, back filling in for Boss Man Dave, and I got Marsha and Troy in the cut with me this evening. What's going on, Marsha? What's good?
Bow, 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 bow. It's good. It's good. As you mentioned, the sun is out. I was wearing shorts today. I feel great. My mother looked at me like I was mad because she's like, it's still cold outside. I don't know what you're going to do. Shorts and you don't have pants." I'm like, "Mom, I gotta take it in because tomorrow it could be a blizzard. Let me take it while I can."
Yo, that's the one thing about the older generation with Indians. If it's not plus 30 outside, it's too cold for shorts.
It's too cold. Exactly. Exactly.
Whoa,
Oh god.
every time. Troy, what's going on to you? Wearing shorts right now, Troy?
No, I'm not wearing shorts, but my wife did look at me sideways when I left for work this morning because I left in a winter jacket. And she's just like, the complete opposite of how Marsha left her house. I left wearing a winter jacket. She looks at me sideways. She's like, it's going to be like 16 degrees, right? I'm like, first of all, it's still early in the morning. Second of all, this is Canada. Who are we kidding? Like, it
You're
could be
so
sunny
right.
1 minute. By the time I walk 15 feet, it could be snowing. So
You're
I'd
so
rather have
right.
I would rather have stuff to take off than need stuff to put on.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
no, wasn't wearing any shorts today. Had to work. As you know, in the group chat, I had to play the Black Mario today and do my best version of pretending I was a plumber. Trying to figure out how to turn the water off, which took too much time. But other than that, I am good. How are you,
Oh,
Avery? How was your week?
I'm good, Troy. I'm doing well, and we just finalized this weekend here. For those of you who missed the announcement, 3IP Live is back on, baby. May 27th. Get your
Yes, sir.
tickets in the show. We're going to post the show bio for it in the description here. May 27th, Stock Market. We told y'all we'd bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
6 p.m. doors open. So make sure you come down there for some good hockey chat with some people of color, discussions, prizes, giveaways. We're going to have some fun that night.
Yes, sir. Good stuff. Good stuff. Back outside.
Yes. So I'm very glad we were able to save the show and get it back out again because looking back at it now, I think more people would rather walk around stock market in May than February.
You right. You right.
I
Enjoy some
mean,
sun, a nice
snowbank versus
breeze.
snowbank versus no snowbank. I think people will take the no snowbank option.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is true. This is true, Troy. So yeah, so you get your tickets. Plenty of time to get your tickets still, but you don't want to win until it's sold out. So make sure you get them now on universe.com. All right. So with that being said, a few things to get into, and we're gonna try to keep the show nice and tight. But playoff talk. The Maple Leafs are going into round one with home ice advantage. So I'll ask the both of you, who do you want to face in round one? It's gonna be either one of two teams. The Leafs are getting either Tampa Bay or Ottawa in that first round. Sorry, you, Marsha. Who do you want to face in round one?
I think Ottawa would be fine and dandy. Not because it's Ottawa, because people think Ottawa and then they get on some high horse and then Ottawa comes and crush them. But I say Ottawa because it's fresh blood. You're not worried about any past qualms, any past demons, any weird levels of strategy. You go in and it's a clean slate. You get to sit with your team and strategize about how you want to take them on in the playoffs. Um, I think this is that kind of fresh air that they need going into that first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And of course, Ottawa making the playoffs for the first time since 2017. Last time they made the postseason, they infamously lost that triple overtime game in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals to the Penguins. That was the last time we saw the Senators in the postseason. But again, whole new team. We've seen the animosity between Toronto and Ottawa. And quite frankly, I want to see the Battle of Ontario again because I want to see some full blown hatred again in the postseason between these two teams.
Exactly. It's a vibe and it's fresh because I'm sick of the last how many years of playoffs where it's just the same old narrative and it's bland and boring and too much aggression, and I just want some good rivaled hockey.
Right? No, I hear you. And I'll pose the same question to you, Troy. Troy, who are you feeling in round one? Tampa or
Well,
Ottawa?
well, as much as I would like to say Tampa Bay because Vasilevsky has been proven to be human this year, I want to see the Battle of Ontario. So that way the younger generations can enjoy a provincial battle like we did growing up. I for one, and I'm sure the two of you will agree, I am tired of seeing Tampa Bay and Boston, Florida all the time. I want to see a new series, a new matchup, a different team. I want to see Brady Kachuk's face get pasted into a Canadian Tire ad on the sideboards. It's going to be fun and exciting. I want to see Allmark have like um, a Patrick Lalene type meltdown. I want to see that kind of thing. You don't really get that when you play Florida or Tampa Bay. And worst case scenario for Leaf fans, if need be, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to go to a road game. Ottawa's down the road. Just get in a car, fill it with gas, go to Ottawa. Go invade the Canadian Tire Center. Do all of that. It makes it so much more fun. I would like to see the Battle of Ottawa because I think there's lots to prove. And there's lots of fresh young blood that wants to leave their mark on the playoffs. And there's no bigger stage to do it than with the Toronto Maple
Mm-hmm. No, I could not agree more. And it's gonna be interesting goaltending matchup. No matter if we get Toronto Ottawa, I'll be fascinated to see what the answer is for Linus Allmark, who's gonna be Ottawa's number one from Toronto. Again, the question lingers again: is it Stolars or is it a Wall? I would go Stolars against Allmark in that series happens. But man, either way, I don't think if you have a Stolars Allmark series, that might be it might be exciting, but I think you're not getting anything more than a bunch of 2-1 games if you have a matchup of Allmark versus Stolars in round one.
If you do Stolars and Allmark, yeah, I agree. You're going to see a lot of low scoring games unless somebody has a really bad night. But I mean, like that would I think playoff hockey is probably the only time where you can be, or as a fan, you can be satisfied with a one goal game kind of score because you understand in the playoff it's tighter, and these one goal games are expected. Um, I do have the utmost confidence in Joseph Wall. I honestly think that just to throw out of a curveball, I think he gets started somewhere in the series. Um, I honestly think you got to give Stolars game one. Give Stolars game one, and then you give Wall maybe like game three, just just to fuck with the center. Um, but yeah, it's going to. I think regardless of which Leaf goalie you have in net, it's going to be a low scoring affair. Um, unless Mitch Marner shows up. If Mitch Marner shows up, he's going to ball this thing wide open. And who's Ottawa's backup? I don't remember or know his name simply because I guess Allmark has been that go-to guy, and once he found his stride after injury, you don't really hear much about the Ottawa backup.
Yeah, no. For Ottawa, they've rode Linus Allmark to much of their season. I do want to pull up the actual Or is it,
believe it's Forsberg, if my brain is serving me
yes,
correctly.
yes, Anton Forsberg. Yeah, it was a collection of guys. It was
Oh yeah, there's a
Anton
couple of them.
Forsberg, Matt Sogard, Levy Merlinen. He played like they. I mean, Allmark played 43 games, got the most starts. But yeah, it was a collection of four different goalies who played for Ottawa this year. And I'll pose a question to the both of you. I know Ottawa's up the season series this year. But how important is it for these teams to not get caught up in that? Because cool, you won the season series, but in a few days, that means sweet, you know what all. So how important is it for both the Leafs and the Senators to not focus on that? Because when it's all said and done, a regular season series sweep means nothing when the puck drops in a week here.
Hey, you said it. When the regular season is done, it's done. All of the stats and things that came along with it mean absolutely nothing on day one of the playoffs. You got to get that out of your head. Keep that energy. Think about how you played and how you can improve from what you did um, good, what you think was iffy during that regular season. But at the end of the day, the stat line of how many games you won during the season, how many games you lost, don't really matter. It's your consistency and your dedication to play in that postseason time.
Yeah, I fully agree. New season, new stats, everything gets reset to zero. While there are lessons to be learned that you can take from the season series with the games against each other, like Marsha said, none of this matters once the playoffs start. Like everything's back at zero, and your goal is to be the first 16 wins.
Mm-hmm.
So regular season stats don't matter. Playoffs do at this point. Once you're in, anything can happen, and you want to do your best to try to make that happen. So that way you get your 16, and you get to lift Lord's Day.
Yeah, no, really. I mean, yeah, it's a good point for both of you. It's more about taking lessons from that season and applying it to the postseason. So, and I'll ask you, Troy, what player do you want to see more from come this postseason? And I feel like you're gonna say Mitch Marner, but please let me know who you want to see more of come this postseason here, Troy.
Okay, so if I had to pick a name that wasn't Mitchell Marner, I am going to say Morgan Riley. Even though he's been quietly steady, like he's been, I think him and Willie are like the longest serving Leafs at this point. But I think from my perspective, I think Riley's kind of had a down year, and I think a good redemption for Morgan would be um, finding a new level to his game in the playoffs. If I had to pick another player, I would say anybody who plays a bottom six role. Step up, stand out, take the pressure off the top six and the core four. Prove why you were put into the lineup and give Rube a reason to keep you there. I think in that regard, if I had to single out an individual, I would like to see Nick Robertson step up and elevate his game because when he's in the lineup, he can make a difference. And I feel like if he were to play more consistently, I don't know the reason behind Berube not giving him as many games or ice time, but I like the fact that this kid, when he's out there, when he dresses, he makes the most of his opportunity, whether he scores or not. And that's what I like from a guy who wants to prove that he's an everyday NHLer, just like his brother Jake. Um, I would like to see him thrive, and I think the Battle of Ontario, should that play out that way, is the best way for him to say, you know what, I'm an NHL, everyday NHL player, and I'm here to stay.
No, very well said. And Marsha, how about you? Who do you want to see in this Leafs roster step up more to get into the second season?
I Troy had some good ones there. I definitely agree with those. I think from this roster as it stands, and to not repeat people that Troy said, I think Domi needs to step it up because he has a lot of playoff potential. And I know that's one of the major reasons why we brought him in the first place. And last year, it wasn't really giving all that it could have gave. Like I think back to his time in Dallas. That was a really good time for him in the postseason, making plays, taking shots, being a productive menace. And that is something that we can use a little bit more of. Doing a little bit more of that dirty work so those upper heads don't have to do it. But it's also just another way to get some more out of him because again, he's proven that he can be useful in the postseason. And when you get guys like him, guys like Robertson making moves, it adds a different level of motivation to everyone else on the team. And it boosts that energy in a way where everyone is, I don't want to say showing off, but everyone's contributing in a meaningful way.
Yeah, no, very true. I think it's a good point when it comes to someone like Max Domi. You're gonna need one to see more from guys like Scott Lawton. These are the names who you brought on your roster who have a chance to become your playoff heroes. So I
Mhm.
agree. Like those guys, like the Domis, the Lawtons, the Nick Robertses. These are guys where this is your time to step up and get the Maple Leafs to that next step. Because again, I said it before on the show. I've said it before multiple times. If this Leafs team crashes out in round one or just gets demolished in round two, this falls on the head of Brian Shanahan. It has to this time.
Mhm. The Shana plan is reaching its end.
Yeah, because how many more coaches can you go through? How many more GMs can you go through? How many
Before
more
it falls back on you.
exactly? I mean, more player change. Because yeah, eventually, I mean, yeah, you are the architect. You are the overseer of all of this. And in your
Mhm.
tenure, still, you're still looking to this team back to this first conference finals in over 20 years.
Eesh.
It's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's really not. It's really not. And like as you said, there's only so far that you can go before they're gonna throw him to the piranhas. So for his sake, I hope this year plays out a lot better than previous years.
Oh man, we will definitely see. And going from the East Coast to the West, the Edmonton Oilers have a banged up team going to the final week of the season here. Names on the shelf right now: Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Julian Draisaitl, Zach Hyman. This is a team that just got back Stuart Skinner from injury, got back Connor McDavid, still waiting for the return of Evander Kane. Don Klinberg's hurt, and Matthias Ekholm. He's the latest guy who was already hurt beforehand, came back, um, left the God's Oilers win, and now this Oilers team is wondering what's happening on their back end because I mean, yes, you've got guys like Darnell Nurse, Aaron Bouchard, Jake Wallman, but Matisse Ekholm was a rock for the Oilers over the past two seasons, and it's coming out that Ekholm was going to be gone, most likely long term. What long term means? It could be rest of the postseason. Maybe it's only a couple of rounds, but either way, for the Oilers gang, losing Matthias Ekholm to an injury that he's not coming back from immediately, it's a tough blowout West.
Oh, 100%. He's been solid this past little while, and it really is a huge blow to the team, especially this weird trade-off of, oh, you're healthy, great, now I'm gonna get injured. Especially like with no time left to rehab that. You're kind of just going into the postseason like, okay, this is what we have. Let's see where we can go. But the thing that I think I'm worried about when it comes to Ekholm is knowing the mentality of a lot of teams and players as it pertains to playing through injury in the playoffs. I would
Mm.
not be surprised if we see him rushing himself back if he is in a position to be able to do so, and the Oilers make it to, it looks like they're gonna make it out of the second round.
Mm-hmm. That's a big thing. I mean, that's the big of player of hockey. We've seen players playing with broken bones, sprains, tears, lung punctures, who knows what else.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Troy, what are your impressions or thoughts on the fact that Matthias Ekholm is gone and we have no clue what that means in terms of length right now?
Um, like many of you guys, like I was kind of stunned to see him. Like I don't know what the original injury was, but I was kind of stunned to see him back in the lineup. And the shift that he took, like what they showed on the sports channels and stuff like that, he didn't look comfortable at all. So I'm thinking, like especially after the first bit of contact he took, I think it looks the way he reacted. I think it might be like a groin or like a lower abdominal thing. He didn't look comfortable on any of the other subsequent shifts that he took. Thankfully, somebody had enough smarts to be like, okay, maybe you shouldn't play out the rest of this game. It's unfortunate that the injury bug is hitting a team like the Oilers this time of year because, like I've been saying all season long, I mean, obviously you can't control when your injuries happen, but the best time for your injuries to happen, should you have one, is at the beginning of the season because when it starts hitting you this late into the year, it starts affecting the roster you're trying to put together to make a lengthy playoff run. And losing Ekholm definitely does it. It definitely puts a dent in the Oilers' plans in terms of the players that they plan to employ. Um, I don't. I'm not even gonna bother throwing Evander Kane in this because this guy doesn't seem like he wants to play hockey ever again unless he's playing 2K. I'm not surprised with the Lindbergh or with the Klingberg thing because I mean, like this guy, he's never been healthy. Where did he come from? Where did he start from? Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, he's never been healthy. I'm surprised the Leafs even spent the money on him. You know, and then it was even more head scratching when he was selected for the Four Nations Cup, and it's like this guy is hurt all the time. You know, like I don't under I don't understand how you pick a guy who spends more time on the injured list than he does in your actual bench. You know, right, Nugent Hopkins, like that's a lot of experience that's gone right there. So I mean, like you're gonna have to have a bunch of different people try to step up and try to fill his spot. It's nice to see the mustache man, Stuart Skinner, back between the pipes. But I think who did Edmonton draw first round? LA again, right? Or is it Dallas?
It's
No,
LA
Dallas.
first.
Dallas.
LA first round Edmonton.
LA first round. So if I'm LA, I'm probably thinking, you know, crash the crease without crashing the crease, just to get Stewart off his game because you want to try and test him, try to rattle him a little bit. And if you're the Oilers, you know that's what they're gonna do. So you need to be prepared, drop a game plan to protect Skinner, so then that way, you know, your hopes and dreams don't go up in smoke. Um, I think it's just going to be a battle of wills, really. I mean, you can coach your ass off, but it's going to be a battle of wills to try to get over that hump and try to sort things out with the amount of injuries that they have at the wrong possible time.
Yeah, this is gonna be a challenge for the rest of that group to try and pick up the slack, and it'll be a test for guys. It'll be a test for guys, like Ty Emberson and company has shown, get back to what they were doing earlier this season. But either way, it'll be interesting to see as we go into a fourth year in a row of the Kings and the Oilers in round one, and going from that to a little college hockey. And I want to give a big shout out to Western Michigan, won their first NCAA men's hockey championship, beating BU Boston University 6-2 in the championship game. And what that was cool, gang, was how the amount of people who were big on Western Michigan, but also remembered that the late great John Saunders, Black Excellence on ESPN, played for Western Michigan's hockey team in the 70s. So I thought it was cool to see people remembering John Saunders, who played for them and was one of the first prominent black voices on ESPN, a black Canadian man also too. And yeah, that was really great to see. And I know when it comes to the Frozen Four, it isn't as I know it's in a way somewhat niche among the general public here in Canada that college hockey. But I thought that was cool either way to see a first time winner, considering that college hockey down south is dominated by the BU's, Boston College, Ohio State. I thought it was cool to see a new school get a championship for the first time, gang, this past weekend.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and I agree heavily with that sentiment. It's again my my words this episode seem to be fresh blood. Opportunity for new cool people to show their skills and show what they're made of, right? Because sometimes, as you said, you get sick of seeing the same old people doing the same old thing all the damn time. And that's nothing against all the hard work that BU has put in to get to where they are, because it's an incredible feat, right? But when you see a new team like Western Michigan, it's a different level of joy that comes from seeing them be successful, especially against a team like BU, which is, in a sense, legendary when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to this, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, BU. Yeah, BU is one of the that is the black and bear term. Don't all this blue bloods of college hockey in the NCAA. So yeah, to see Western Michigan breakthrough was great. And I mean, we seen. I mean, I want badly. I mean, we know we did an interview after release where we interviewed Tennessee State's head of marketing and media. But man, I want to see eventually. We mentioned before on the show, but I want to see in however many years Tennessee State be at that level where they're playing for national championship. I want to see Arizona State break through the other side. I want to see these newer programs break on through because as great as it is, see the prestigious schools like the BU's, the Boston colleges, Notre Dame, et cetera, et cetera. I would love to see. I mean, Tennessee State, an
Mhm.
HBCU, is coming next year to Division
Mhm.
One hockey. How cool would it be to see Tennessee State playing in the Frozen Four one
No,
day?
for real. These are the things that we dream of. They're becoming a reality.
Yes, that would be, man, yo, that would be the coolest. That would be such a fun frontier to see HBCU bands out there at the Frozen Four.
Mhm.
If Tennessee State is good off the bat, that would be sick,
Give me a full marching band and a dancing dolls type team in a hockey arena. Come on, let's go. I
right?
want it. I want it.
Oh my goodness, it would be sick. It would be cool. Troy,
Hmm.
Troy, how do you feel about how do you feel about West Michigan getting a title? How do you feel about newer schools trying to push on through?
I love it. I love it. I mean, like you mentioned, up this side, we don't totally get to see a whole lot of NCAA hockey until it gets closer to the Frozen Four tournament. And even then, that kind of gets pushed to the back burner because you still have your March Madness tournament that runs into April. So, I mean,
Mhm.
like, they should really just change the name of that because, like, March Madness never ends in March. So, NCAA hockey is always being overshadowed by something else. And that's unfortunate because there's a lot of good hockey that's being played down there that we're not being exposed to on the regular. Yes, we're familiar with names like BU, Michigan, UConn,
Denver
schools
U.
like that. Yeah,
Hmm.
and like it's nice to see that somebody else's program has been able to break through where it's like, not today, it's my turn.
Hmm.
That's got to be like a huge sigh of relief and like the most satisfying feeling for the people involved in putting that program together where it's like, yes, my blueprint finally worked. I can breathe easier. I can feel better about myself knowing that our plan worked and that we were capable of executing everything right down to the T. And with HBCUs coming into the mix, again, it kind of grows the game a bit more. It gets more eyes on the sport, and hopefully it gets more people involved in the sport, whether you're a player, a coach, a linesman, or a referee. The more people that get involved in it, the better. And especially if an expansion team goes down south to someplace like Atlanta or Houston, you've got schools down there. You generate some interest. You start developing players, and boom, there you go. You've got more people of color participating, playing, and hopefully going pro within the ranks of your sport. And that is the ultimate goal that we want to see. Like it'll be nice one day where we can be like where we can name every pro player that's of color without having to Google it because they're constant everyday players. Whereas like they're not these fringe players where you got to Google it or you got to guess or anything like that. Like we got to start developing players who can become household names, and I think getting that exposure with the HBCU and the NCAA pros before will definitely do that going forward.
Yeah, no, it totally will. And talking about Tennessee State, and I know they're going to be an independent team next year. But talking to the staff there, and what I like is that Tennessee State, like they're not ducking the smoke. They want to play the best, and I think their scheduling next year's independent allows them to challenge themselves next year. So yeah, there's gonna be some growing pains, but it's clear that Tennessee State isn't afraid of the smoke. Like they could have found a way to maybe probably get an easier schedule or going. But when that's unveiled, I'm expecting them to play some of the tougher teams in NCAA hockey come next fall here. Like they want the smoke. They want to test themselves against the best.
Mhm.
So
And I love that for them.
yeah,
They're coming in hot, as they should.
yes.
Because if you come in low energy, like, oh, we don't belong here, this is our first year, blah, 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 blah. Like, where's that going to take you? Come out full force with the energy that you have in all of your other sports,
Mm-hmm.
and you will do great things.
Yes. Yes. I could not agree more. I could not agree more. And before we wrap things up here on the show, I do want to ask both you, Marsha and Troy. So in golf, it was Masters Week. Rory McIlroy just won his first green jacket, and the big thing with the Masters has always been next year the winners get to have their the dinner of their choice. So I'm gonna ask the both of y'all. Maybe I'll jump into on this as well. Say you're a golfer, you win the Masters. What is your dinner the next year going to be? I want from the both of you. I want both of you. One appetizer, one main course, and one drink from the both of you. I'll start with you, Marcia.
Ooh. This is a great question. Things to think about. Okay, appetizer. Only because I've been craving them ever since I had them at my friend's wedding. Apple brie tarts. The world's most delicious thing you could ever have. Try
Okay.
it. Try it. For a main course, hmm, I feel like I would say a type of surf and turf. A little bit of everything in there. Nice filet mignon, maybe wrapped in bacon with some shrimps on the side. Nice baked potato, loaded baked potato. Nothing dry. All the sauce, all the flavor.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I want you to drink a choice for that. What's the drink?
For me, I think it would have to be a nice, like, mid-level rosé, not too sweet, not too dry. Something like a Behringer type vibe.
All right. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I hear you. All right. Troy, how about you? You win the Masters next year, you get to assemble the menu. What is your appy, your main, and your drink of choice for the Masters dinner?
Okay, so I don't like golf in any sense. I mean, like the most realistic thing to do
Real.
is go to the putting range. But to play along with the question, let's say Tiger Woods 2.0 minus all the transgressions and everything else that comes with the original Tiger Woods.
Jeez.
My appetizer is I am loading up on the Cheddar Bay Red Lobster biscuit.
Ooh, good
Uh,
choice.
maybe some Caesar salad. I like a good Caesar salad. Um, for my main course, I either I'm going with a nice steak or I'm going with some oxtail. Oxtail with rice and peas and extra gravy
Mm.
sauce. What one of those two? Maybe some ackee and saltfish. So like something to make it for sure.
Mhm.
If I can't do Jamaican, just give me a plate of bacon and I'll be happy. As for a drink, um, you think I would be able to come up with an answer quick considering where I work? Uh, um, I would say, like, if I went wine, I would do Riesling because I don't have the palate for red wine.
Mm.
I would do a Riesling or like a nice rosé. But if I had to get into the hard stuff, I'm probably dabbling with something gin based, gin or
Mhm.
or you know what, I might just grab a cooler, just grab like a ready to drink thing. So I'm not overly like fancy on like the mixed cocktail drinks and things like that. Just give me something I can just open quick and shut.
True.
All right. I hear you. I hear you. I'll give mine before we wrap up here. So actually, if we're gonna do an appy, we're gonna do an appetizer. I am going. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do some sliders. I'm gonna do some buffalo chicken sliders for my
Yes,
appy.
sir.
That's my appetizer. I'm gonna go with that. As Troy is dying on the microphone. Yo, let's go buffalo chicken. My main. Oof, a tough one. My main. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna. I'm going to go. I'm gonna have with my thing. My dinner. I'm gonna have some classic margarita pizza flown in from Italy for it.
Ooh.
That's what we're having for our main. Yeah, flown in from Italy because I wouldn't matter. I can make it happen from Italy. Flying that in.
As you should. As you should.
Yes, and then my drink. I'm keeping it simple. Everybody's drinking Pure Drax. Everybody's drinking Pure Drax.
Yes, sir. Oh, it's a staple. A staple in this world.
Yes.
Drinking what?
Some
P-
nice ice cold pear jacks.
Hair Jack?
Pear Drax.
Purple bottle, purple label, dark bottle, sparkling pear juice.
Maybe.
My
I,
good sir, you will
I'm
taste it
sure you come
and you
across
will
it.
remember. You will
the
remember.
description sounds familiar.
I'm sure Christmas time you come across it, Troy. Christmas time you've come across Pear Drax in some way or another.
Probably. It's probably just got a different label on it.
I guarantee you come across Pear Drax. And hey, if you got your own Masters dishes, hey, hit us up on Third Admissions Twitter account. Let us know what you got for your dinner. Let's hear what the people gonna eat. I want to hear that one. So
Mm-hmm.
yes. With that being said, hey, thank you again for tapping in with us on 3AP. Like always, thank you for allowing us to grace the space in between your head top. And hey, I see in our group chat, Marsha just showed Troy what Pear Jacks is.
Throw some pear jacks along with the water tonight.
Yes, yes. As we
Yes,
go,
okay. Now that I've seen the picture, I know what you're talking about now. I
There we
haven't seen
go.
this so long. Like this brings back memories. It's like I just want to go find like a stick of Mr. Gudis now.
oh my goodness. Oh, like I'm saying, hey, and like Jason says, drink your water, and in this case, drink your Pear Drax. Until next week, we are out of here. Deuces.